Hello and welcome back to Awakening to Your Story TV, the place to learn, get inspired, and be supported on the journey of life. I'm your host, author, emotional heart expert, and heart enthusiast, Alicia Hartzell. With today's question, we are going to dive into a place where I think we can all do a little bit better. Dear Alicia, my boss doesn't see how amazing I am, and I'm starting to get frustrated. I like my job, but I feel very undervalued and underappreciated. I don't know how to make my boss see my value more than I am, and I can't quit right now, so I feel stuck. How do I make this situation bearable? Now, you may be saying to yourself, this doesn't apply to me. But here's the thing. We can all do a little bit better about using the situations that we find ourselves in to help us get where we actually want to go. We tend to look outside of ourselves and blame others for the situations that we're in, rather than really looking inward and figuring out how our limiting beliefs are holding us back. Sure, you can make it about your boss. Absolutely. You can make it about how what you're feeling is their fault because they aren't seeing you or valuing you or understanding your worth. But where does that leave you? Feeling powerless and frustrated? And it's a place where you spend most of the hours of your day, and that sucks. You can't change your boss, but you can change how you interact to the situation that you're in. Now, just to make sure that nobody feels left out of this conversation, there are endless places where you can easily apply this kind of inward-looking approach. Now, there are some pretty typical ones where the volume gets accelerated and you have to show up and do your work. Family situations are a great one because most of our limiting beliefs that we carry originated there. Our love relationships are another one because they plug right into our heart space, and that is the home of where all of our work has to be done. Money is another great typical place where volume rises and we have to show up and do our own personal work. And last but not least is our work environment, because this is where we spend most of the hours of our day. Now, everything is happening for you. Not one thing is happening to you. The divine universal energy knows where you'll show up and do your work. If you have volume or stress in any area of your life, it's a great indicator that you are on the right track to broaden your capacity of heart. But you have to show up and do your heart's work. I know it can be hard when it feels like it's really the other person's fault. I understand that feeling. With that blame, you are asking them to see you, to validate you, and to appreciate you so that you know, feel, and value your own worth. Now, I can hear you firing back now, but I know my worth. I know my value. That's why I can see that they can't see it. But here's the thing. Law of attraction is always working in your favor. It reflects back to you what is within you. Life is indeed a mirror to your heart, and law of attraction gives you situations just like this so that you can see what you're holding on to that isn't serving your higher good. If you train the blame out of the equation, because blame doesn't create growth, nor does it get you what it is you want, but instead you train yourself to look inward, you have the power to create alchemy in any situation. Now, I talk about this process in depth in the handbook, the starter kit, and the masterclass. So you can get your hands on those at awakeningtoyourstory.com. But for today's episode, let's take this question right to the stream kayak principle. When you say, do this so that I can, you fill in the blank for whatever it is you're looking for, you are putting two people in a one-person boat. On the river of life, your boat is your consciousness, and there is only one person in each boat. When you ask your boss to see you, appreciate you, or value you so that you can know your worth or feel your value, you are floundering in the river of life, clinging to their boat if you haven't already jumped aboard it. I don't want to take away from the exercise of showing up and asking for what you want, because there is a great exercise in that, for sure. But there's a difference in doing it from your own boat and doing it while you're clinging to the side of someone else's boat. People are less likely to respond to you in the way that you want if you're clamoring and desperately clinging to their boat with this undercurrent of need for validation. Instead of getting what you want, the desperation and separation will be what is reflected back to you. Instead, you want them to respond to you according to your essential truth, right? That belief in you that you are amazing, right? That you have value, that you have worth. To get them to respond to your essential truth, you have to remove and heal the limiting beliefs that are in the way. You have both parts of you, both the limiting belief and the essential truth that are contradicting themselves in your heart. So go in and find where the limiting belief started. Feel it, really know it. Let it illustrate what it is you're holding onto in your heart space. When you see the first time you felt that way, think about it. When was the first time you felt that way? Or what was the last time you felt that way? Get curious and show up for the information in front of you. From there, you can forgive, heal, and create a deeper ownership for your truth. Again, you can find in-depth how-to guides for all of this in the starter kit, the handbook, and the masterclass. But if you just walk through this part of the process, you'll begin to rise within your own personal power. So go out there and start looking inward and see how much power you hold. And until next time, know that I am holding a place of love for you, where your ability to stand in your truth and rise and transform this situation is undeniable. For more support, information, and inspiration, join me at awakeningtoyourstory.com.